are listening to the Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast. And babes, this one is so good. You are going to hear from a few different mamas on how they lost weight for the last time, and you are going to see yourself inside of them. You are going to have the opportunity to borrow their belief in you and use it every single step of the way. My absolute favorite quote of this whole entire podcast is, I had a really beautiful life. I just wasn't living it. She was living from the sidelines. So if you can relate to this, you're going to love this episode. P.S. You guys, doors are open for the Yummy Mummy Experience May 2026 cohort. Go get in there. Go to lauraconley.com and book a call to see if it's the right fit for you. And if you want to just go ahead and sign up, some people are like, I don't need to have a call with you, girlfriend. Just shoot me an email, laura@lauraconley.com, and we'll get you signed up. Spots are filling. It's going to be the absolute best. I'll see you inside, babes.
Happy Friday. It's day 5. We are doing this. Oh, it's so awesome. What are you guys feeling? I had a little excerpt that I wanted to read to you guys today because I love doing that. It's so great. I have like 4 different passages I want to read to you. I'm like, well, I can't read you guys the whole book. It'll take freaking the whole hour. Okay, so welcome everybody. Throw up in the Q&A how you guys are feeling. Feeling good. Scales moving down. Off from school. Yes. Feeling good, lighter, motivated, inspired. All right. So my wonderful Yum Mom alum, welcome. I freaking love you guys the most. No, I love everybody the most, okay? Not make it a contest. So if you are here for day 5, great. This is going to be the best day of the entire week. I'm going to talk for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then we're going to bring the Yum Mom alum on, and you guys are going to be able to ask them anything. So think about what you might want to ask them and like jot it down now. They were in your shoes 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, some of them 3 years ago, some of them 4 years ago. So think about, and it's like, honestly, like it's so humbling that they are willing to give up their time to be here to inspire possibility for you guys. Like it really could make me cry. The fact that they are willing, I'm not even giving them anything. Might give them a little free one-on-one. I can love them. But like they are out of the goodness of their heart. They are here because they too want to inspire possibility, because they too know what is possible for you, what's inevitable for you if you choose to go on this journey. It's just so profound. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, Yum Mom alum. And thank you to everyone else who is here. Okay, some of us are feeling meh. That's normal, you guys. We didn't talk about this too much, but remember, life is 50-50. 50% of your Fridays are going to be amazing, and 50% of them are going to suck. And I don't know if that's actually true, but when we come to accept that guiding principle, we don't resist the suck that inevitably is a part of our lives. Okay, let's see. Feeling so great. Having a great relationship with the scale. Yes, it's amazing. Having fun. Yes. Okay, so Megan, this is a great thing to do, actually. Now, some people are going to think I'm crazy. She's like, I'm actually weighing myself throughout the day. Now, some people are like, that is so diety. That is crazy. Why? Some of us, when we're getting like our relationship with money, when we're healing it, might check our bank account a couple of times a day, right? You wouldn't freak out if I was like, check your blood pressure multiple times a day as an experiment to just see what happens based on what else is going on in your life, right? It's all the meaning that we attach to the scale, which we're not going to be doing anymore. Nope, the scale is neutral. Cannot show you your worth, your value, your goodness, nothing. Just shows you your gravitational pull. That's it. So I actually don't hate the recommendation of weighing yourself multiple times a day so that you're like, salt affects me. Salt doesn't affect me. Oh, I lose 2 pounds overnight. Oh, I gain a pound every time I ovulate, whatever. Day 1, we picked our plan. Day 2, we learned allow power. That was once we had our plan, what do we do when we inevitably don't want to follow our plan? Use allow power, right? Day 3, what did we talk about? We talked a lot about discipline, commitment, obstacles, and strategies. So what to do if you actually do make a mistake, plot twist, whatever, right? Every moment is a Monday morning moment, okay? So let's dive into today. I'm going to read you guys a little excerpt. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it's like to work together in a longer term format, which we did mostly yesterday. So I'm not going to talk about that for that long. And then we're going to bring the Yum Mum panel on. We'll bring them on in like 5 minutes, let's say. Okay. So I actually want you, if you are in a spot where you can like close your eyes and take a deep breath and just take this in, I want you to do that. Okay. So just take a deep breath. See if you can sip in a little bit more at the top. Stay with me. Do not distract. Don't do anything else. Stay with me. I promise it's going to be worth it. Sip in a little bit more. And then can you audibly sigh it out your mouth? Exhale. And let's do 2 more like that. Take a deep, deep inhale. Sip in a little bit more. A little bit more. And then let it go. Exhale. One more time like that. Big, big inhale. Sip in a little bit more. And a little bit more. And then let it go. Exhale. Good, you guys. Okay, just breathe in through your nose, not through your nose. Keep your eyes closed if you like. I'm going to read a little excerpt from my girl, Brianna Weist. She says, so just listen, relax, stay here. I promise this is going to be the absolute best day that you've attended all week. Okay, so she says, whatever pain you think you are in right now cannot begin to compare to the peace that will one day come over you. It cannot begin to compare to the joy that you will one day know. You will fall in love with life again, and it will be better than it was before because you will become a different person. You will become someone who is more capable of appreciating what matters, who will not be as reckless with their choices, who can no longer be so easily swayed or mindlessly trusting. You will require a new level of integrity within your life, which will transpire into better boundaries and a more stable foundation. You will strengthen in the most unexpected ways, and from that, your happiness will be even more sincere, even more apparent. This will not happen overnight, though it will seem like it did in retrospect. Like the changing of a season, everything shifts slowly until all of a sudden you are standing firmly in the after, and all you feared would never come. You're through it, but you're different because something also moved through you and cleared out what you didn't even realize was standing in the way. So I want you guys to just breathe in the possibility and the inevitability of you losing weight for the last time, of you, whatever that means for you, right? Because again, who cares about the weight? It's about what it means for you. It's about the transformation. Because it's not just about the weight. It's about your whole life. So I want you to picture December 31st, 2024. You're getting ready for your evening. You're either slipping on a sparkly little romper number, or maybe you're slipping into your Vuori sweats. Either way, it's easy. It's fun. Kind of like being naked. You enjoy getting dressed. You feel so good in your skin. You go downstairs and your partner greets you with a glass of champagne or sparkling kombucha, and he or she toasts you for the transformation that you decided to make this year. He or she or they or them reflects back to you the awe, the drive, the willingness, the courage that you illustrated this year. And your new body is just an outward depiction of all of the work that you did on the inside. It's just a byproduct. And you kind of join your partner in the toasting and the cheersing. And you're like, yeah, I really did it. This was the year. That was the summer. It really did get done. You're like, I finally feel like myself, confident, light, alive. Your kids, if you have them, maybe your pets, start to join you. And you notice you're so present. It's so easy. It's so natural to just greet them with pure love and freedom. You're so proud of who you've become. You really did not think this was possible. But all you did was just take the next best step. And here you are. It really was the best year of your whole life. And you take a big inhale and a big exhale. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. But I want you guys to live into the possibility, because that's it. That's the difference. The people that I'm about to bring on are the people that chose, keyword, chose to believe me, to believe the alum, to believe their friend who did it, to believe the stranger on my website. That's it. They had all the doubt. They had all the fear. They had all the shakes, and they still just took the next right action. So I want to highly, highly encourage you guys to keep this momentum going and to give yourself that gift of that New Year's Eve, okay? So for some of you, that means you're going to book a call with me, and we're going to talk through any questions that you have so that you make this the year that it gets done. And for some of you, that's just going to mean that you're going to go ahead and sign up. You guys can see this answer that I just popped in there. Oh, I answered a question for Megan. Just go in the answered and you can see it. I'll also email. Yeah, the $5,000 is for 6 months. So the Yummy Mummy experience is a 6-month group coaching course and private community that guarantees you lose weight. Okay. So let me bring on the Yum Mum alum, and you guys can start popping in questions for me or the Yum Mum alum. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys all on. We're going to have a party. It's a Yum Mum alum party. The Yum Mum panel party. I love it. Okay. So we got Wendy. We got Andrea. We got Megan. We got Mel. Rose, do you want to come on too? Rose is my assistant coach, which you guys should really, she's the director of over delivery at the Yummy Mummy. But she helps me coach you guys. She helps me over deliver. She helps me make it the freaking best experience in the history of the world. So everybody is a Yum Mum. Oh, is it not going to let me have more than 5 panelists on here? Oh, no, it is. Okay. I was like about to freak out. You guys know I'm a little bit of a baby boomer when it comes to technology, right? We got the Yum Mum alum. I already kind of introduced them. Jennifer, Mel, Andrea, Megan, Wendy. They have all kind of, like I said before, you guys, they have all been Yummy Mummies for all kinds of different lengths of time. Wendy will say 6-ish months. Jennifer will say 18-ish months. I don't know, Jennifer, a year, maybe more like a year. Mel, God, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Andrea, 2 or 3 years. Megan, 2 or 3 years. 3 years. 3. 2. Okay. I can't do math. 3. Okay. What are you, Mel? 3?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. We have a whole perfect span. This is so great. Okay. So what kind of questions do you guys have? Let's see. My favorite question, and this is what we'll kick off with, so that while you guys are thinking of your questions, we have something to talk about. So we're not just sitting here. Okay, so one of my favorite questions is, what was it like before? Like I just got a message the other day from one of the girls, Christine, in the January cohort, and she was like, and her twin sister is a Yummy Mummy too. It's so cute. So she's like, we say before LC and after LC, which is so cute. Like it was such a pivotal moment in their whole lives. So that's what I want to talk about. Like, what was your life before the Yummy Mummy like? And what was it like, or what is it like now? What's different? What's changed? People want to know, right? Like if I were in my audience, I would also want to know how much weight you've lost. So can we just start with some stories around what it was like before, what it's like now? Who wants to go first? Andrea.
Okay, so this is perfect illustration. I'm in Las Vegas again because we go to Las Vegas all the time. Before the Yummy Mummy, I would be eating as much food as possible, drinking as much alcohol as possible, and I felt like absolute crap. Like it was just not fun. I was just seeking the next high, the next cookie, the donuts, the like mile-long margaritas. And now I'm here and I'm eating like 3 nourishing meals. I'm walking around. I like ran into friends from home and was so excited to see them just because I was present to the experience and just taking it all in. And it's just so much more fun now.
Oh, that is so good. Oh my God, I love you so much.
And can I just say I lost 53 pounds because everyone wants to know. Like how much
Yeah,
did you
no, and that's what I was kind of getting at the beginning. I'm like, they want to know, right? Like, it's so funny because I'll have you guys, like, you guys know, like, I'll have you on the podcast and you'll be like, my marriage, my career. And I'm like, just tell them how much weight you lost because they want to know how much weight you lost. Like, I know, right? It's not about that. It really becomes not about that. It becomes like about being present when you run into friends in Vegas. Like, that's really because that's the deliciousness. But we want to know too. So that is so well said. Thank you so much, Andrea. Who wants to go next?
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer. I lost 45 within YMX. I lost 5 pounds on my own before that. So I'm down a total of 50. But since starting Yummy Mummy last April, I lost 45 pounds. And I would say before, if you want to use a sports analogy, I was literally sitting on the sidelines, warming the bench of my own life and not in the game or really engaging. And I had this really beautiful life and I wasn't living it. I wasn't swimming with my kids. I wasn't taking family photographs. I wasn't people I hadn't seen in a long time. I didn't want to get together with them. I didn't want them to see how much I'd changed. I was so uncomfortable in my own skin and really just feeling very paralyzed and not sure what to do. So I was really just paralyzed and sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. So I like literally use that quote all the time. Like, I had a beautiful life. I just wasn't living it. Like on paper, it's like near perfection, but it did not feel like that inside. Like that is such, I think everyone can relate to that. So what does it feel like now? Can you give us a little,
Gosh. Yeah. It's great. I mean, my life is not perfect. Have actually some pretty big struggles right now in my career and some other things. Life is just popping up, but overall, I feel lighter. I feel better able to handle whatever is happening because I am genuinely more comfortable in my own skin. And I know that whatever is coming, that I have the tools to handle it. I really feel lighter. I feel more peaceful, even in the times when things do still get tough sometimes. I feel more peaceful. I feel more confident that whatever's coming, I will get through it. I will figure it out. I have the tools to continue living and creating my life the way I want to do it.
It's so good. So Jennifer, I can't imagine like you are navigating some other life stuff. So let's be real, you guys. You will lose weight for the last time and you will still be a human and your life will still be lifing. But to her point, it's like now at least you have some tools and at least we don't have the extra weight that's then compounding all of the other things.
Yeah.
So I think that that's like really honest and I really appreciate you sharing that because We want to be real. And I'm just so happy for you. And I mean,
you.
I know Jennifer, I get the privilege of coaching her still because she's in the master's program,
Mhm.
and just so much more goodness is coming for you. And I'm so excited for you, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, who wants to share next? Anybody? We'll go Megan, Mel, Wendy.
Awesome. So I lost 60 pounds, not in the 6 months. I lost it in a year. I think in the 6 months I lost, I want to say it was like 40, I think. I can't remember exactly. And then I've kept it off for a year plus. So before I was just so uncomfortable. I've always been a pretty active person, but just after pregnancy and continuing to gain and gain and gain, like I felt like my body was just unrecognizable. And I was getting like winded doing simple things. And I was just like, what is this? Like, what, you know? And I had developed this like identity that I'm just like one of these people that can't lose weight. It's just too hard for me. It's just like, it's genetics. It was my thyroid. It was my sweet tooth. It was like, it was just like, I can't do it. It's just not me. And so like, I'm stuck and it sucks, but whatever. And then one of my very best friends had found you and she was telling me all about it. And she was just like, look, I felt the same way as you. I thought I was stuck too. And we're not stuck. Like we don't have to keep going down this sad little path. And the quote you read about how like everything shifts really slowly until suddenly it's like completely unrecognizable. I feel like that is totally what happened. Like I was making these little tiny incremental changes and I kept focusing on like, all right, I'm just going to be 1% better than yesterday, which before I started this process, if somebody had told me that, I would have just been like, but like, then you're going to get nowhere. But we totally underestimate, like, there's a Gretchen Rubin quote, like you underestimate how much you can get done in a year and you overestimate.
We overestimate how much we can get done in like a very short amount of in a short period of time. And we underestimate how much we can get done in a longer period of time.
Totally.
And that's exactly to your point about the 1%. We're like, oh, I'm not going to lose 10 pounds this week. Then screw it. Never mind. I'll have a pizza.
And I just had like such this small opinion of like what I could do. I started the experience saying like, if I lose 30 pounds, I will be thrilled. And then like I hit it and I was like, well, maybe if I lose 35 and I hit it, and maybe if I lose 40 and I hit it. And I just kept like, it just expanded for me what I thought was possible for myself. Like I didn't realize how like the negative self-talk I had going on until I started going through the process. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am totally beating myself up every day. Like, no wonder I just had no idea. That was probably like the biggest takeaway for me was like, what is possible for me if I just like apply, all these tools, and then just like, oh my gosh, life's so short. Stop being so mean to yourself. Those are like the two biggest.
Yeah, that's so, and we don't even realize how mean we're being to ourselves because it's so normal. We're just,
oh my gosh, I had no clue.
Habit, right? So if you feel like you have this like black cloud or you just kind of feel meh a lot, it could be because of the talk track in your subconscious where you're just like kind of like low level beating the crap out of yourself. So I love that you brought that up. I think it's super, super helpful.
Oh, and the black and white thinking. I was like, I mean, if I can't lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks, there's no point in doing it. Like there's just, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've kept this weight off. Like this really is the last time because I stopped that black and white thinking, because it wasn't like it's juice cleanse or stay this weight forever. I just stopped that crazy pendulum swift.
Yeah. That's so, so good. So a little bit more, I mean, you spoke a little bit, but like, how do you feel like living your life now with your kids, with possibility? I remember the story about like Disneyland. You're like, or Disney World, we're not going to Disney World this year. We're doing this for me. And then you were able to figure it out.
Yes. There's so much that I'm just, a few times in my coaching, you would be like, okay, like what could you do instead? And I'd be like, well, nothing. I mean, this is like, like nothing. And then you'd be like, no, keep thinking. That has really stuck with me. Like that I'm constantly asking myself, like, okay, but what are other possibilities? And do I like those possibilities? And like, what are other ways to solve this problem? And which one do I like the best? And that Disney thing was one of them. Like, what else could I do? Like, let's find other ways. Like, how can I do this for me and for my family? Like, how can I eat the and in both,
Yeah, totally. Totally. I love that. It's so much better to live in the land of and in both versus black and white. Oh, okay. I will not talk. I'm gonna shut myself up. Mel, talk to us.
Before Yummy Mummy, I was on the, lifelong struggle with weight, up and down, and then sometimes really focused down, never able to maintain it. I ate ice cream by the pint. I ate cookies by the box. I did a lot of emotional eating, of people pleasing eating, of just feeling sorry for myself and not feeling my feelings eating. And this week, like Andrea with the Vegas example, I had surgery earlier this week. And historically, if I had, even gotten a little cold or had a surgery or had, something difficult going on in my life, it would have been a complete excuse to indulge, to, have the whatever the thing, even though in that moment, it's exactly the opposite of what your body really needs. I was sitting down in the kitchen the night I came home, having a very modest, healthy meal. And my mom and my daughter walked in with pints of ice cream, and it didn't even occur to me to eat it. And, it's been sitting there all week. I haven't gone for it. And if I feel like having a joy eat this weekend, maybe I'll have the ice cream. It is my favorite joy eat to have. And that's the other thing that I've noticed is that, the things that were exciting before about food are so whatever now. It's like if I'm going to eat something that is not on my protocol, it's got to be good. It's got to be worth it, So those are some of the biggest changes just with respect to food. I think the other big changes certainly around identifying feelings, being able to just sit with them and sit with the discomfort of them. I'm noticing that I'm really able to help my kids do that too. And, sit there and say to them, I can see you're really upset, and not try to distract them out of it, which is kind of what we're all taught to do with toddlers because they're not rational. And you sort of are in that mode when you're parenting very young kids that, you just need to sort of move them along to the next thing and then they'll stop the tantrum. But now they're not toddlers, they're almost 6 and almost 9, and it's okay. Please come and tell me that, you feel bad that something happened and let's talk about it. And we do that. And I feel like I'm giving them a healthier relationship to how they feel, both with respect to their feelings and their food intake. We talk so much about well, what is your body hungry for? Do you really want that? Do you want to slow down and take a minute and just let your body process what you've had instead of, clean plate club, which is sort of how I grew up. So I feel like a million times better that they will have that healthier relationship to their own feelings and their own eating, and that those two will not be connected. That, you're eating to give yourself energy, and that's all,
Well said.
yeah. My daughter said something this morning, what's something about calories? How come water has no calories? I said, well, water doesn't have any calories. It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any protein. It doesn't have anything. All it has is hydration, which is super important. So, but your calories come from other stuff, and those calories just give you energy. you know. So
Yeah, it takes so much of the drama and all this extra meaning out of it that is just so unnecessary and leaves us on the roller coaster.
yep.
So how, oh, Mel, do you want to tell us how much weight you lost?
Yes, I do. I got a little like head start in between my one-on-one with you and when I started the program. So at my peak, which was about that one-on-one time, I was like my COVID peak was I was about 200 pounds, and I'm about like 148 right now. So that's a lot of different things in there, and that's gone up and down. I mean, I've had the swings kind of within that, though they've been narrower swings, but it's been really good because, like you said, when you hit a stumbling block, you identify, oh, what was I doing and what had I stopped doing that all of a sudden, 5 pounds went back on. Oh, right. I stopped journaling. I stopped paying. I started maybe having a little licensing around, oh, I can just eat those fries or eat that, whatever thing was not serving me. And, maybe just doing it without the accountability. And then it becomes so clear and you just feel so much better when you
And
are
again, you take the drama out of it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, let's just put our
just information.
science like freaking, I don't know, my husband always ends up with his science goggles or whatever, chemistry goggles. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah.
He comes home all the time with them on the back of his head. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this dork. But it's like we can put
Yeah.
on our lab goggles and like just look at it as data. And we know we have all the tools. You have all the beakers, you have all the
Yep.
test tubes.
Yeah.
Like, as metaphorically speaking, to solve whatever has crept back in. And it's like in the Yummy Mummy method, we learn really how to heal our relationship with food in our bodies at the root. And also, it is a daily, lifelong practice. And for me, it's a practice that I look forward to and really enjoy and relish in. Like, I love journaling every day. My daughter and my son, too, now, actually, they've integrated it into their lives as well. And like, how they make those little things for you for Mother's Day at school sometimes. And it's like my favorite thing to do with my mom. And like Luna put like journaling on the couch. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, me too. It's the best. All these little things are gifts for our kids as well. Like she's learning introspection now. She's learning to identify her feelings now. This journal, actually, one of the Yummy Mummies gave it to Luna. It's called like the Big Life Journal. If you guys haven't seen those, they're the best. Like if you don't have kids, get them for your nieces, nephews, get them for your kids. They're really cool. They have them for little kids, medium kids, teenagers. They're really neat. Anyways, so that's a little bit of a tangent. Let's hear it from Wendy. Mel, that was so helpful. Thank you so much for sharing. Wendy, give us your scoop.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
So why don't I start out with just some facts? Like since we can't see the people, but hello to everybody. I'll give you some facts to see if to see if they connect with you, because my hope is to give you hope. I'm 56 years old, and I am a postmenopausal Yummy Mummy. I have hypothyroidism. I did not have a pattern of disordered eating so much as I got very sick. I spent about a decade unable to move. And I thought I was eating everything right. So I came to it thinking, I don't know what else to do. I'm eating chickpeas, I'm eating salad. What am I doing wrong? And I felt shame because the body I was in was unrecognizable at every stretch. And I Googled and I found Laura and the radical positivity. I just I need that. And like a day later, I signed up. So I have lost I watched Laura's video and she said, it's like a bad boyfriend sugar. You don't need it. You don't want it back. Break up with sugar and it's going to lure you back, but it's not good for you. So on January 2nd of 2024, I broke up with sugar. I before we started this group that I am currently in, and desperately sad. I'm like in mourning because we're about to finish. And so we started January 25th. And since January 25th, so you all could sort of imagine, June this would be sort of August. I have lost 32 pounds. I started at about 176. I got down to 143. I've been traveling for 4 weeks and I didn't gain any weight. And so I would say
That's just huge. Like, I just, sorry to interrupt you, but like, can we just like that? I remember dreading all my travel because I was like, oh, great. Well, I guess this isn't going to be the year because I can't possibly go on vacation and maintain or lose or actually honor what my future self wants.
There's so many things that I want to convey, but one of my compelling reasons, two of my compelling reasons was I was so tired of food confusion. I just didn't understand. I'm like, okay, I'm eating salad, I'm eating chicken. So, but this process showed me what I was not doing right. And then I posted to the Slack channel, which the support is unbelievable. The vulnerability, and you can probably see it here in how we're talking, the willingness to share some really, things you might not normally share. You just become more comfortable with it. And if you're not comfortable in the beginning, it just brings you in and you feel energy. So anyway, my urges are clearer. I know what my urges are. They're less alluring. For the first time in 20 years, I feel at peace when I eat. I mean, literally, if you said on December 28th, every single thing I put in my mouth, no matter how healthy it was, I just felt shame because I couldn't, everything felt like it was making me gain weight. And I just felt shame. Now, pretty much, it ebbs and flows, but it's pretty much flowing. Pretty much everything I eat now, I feel, okay, this is energy. I'm eating my raspberries. I mean, literally on December 28th, my raspberries would have made me feel bad about myself because I didn't really understand how they added up to the greater whole.
Yeah.
I feel like I know what to do. And of course we all get off, but I feel like I know how to get back on. And there's so many other side benefits that are, I guess the one other thing I would want to add is what I say to myself anytime. So I was at a wedding in California and I live in Washington, D.C. and it was a long trip and I was tired and it was a Monday night wedding and there's this cake tray. Oh my God. It was a cake tray. And I walked and I thought, and I thought about my Slack family and I looked and I'm like, I want to be thin more. It's just what I want, and it's my choice. And it's for me. It isn't really for anybody else. And I've been amazed. It is for me. It is completely for me. And I haven't felt like I look like I can stand in the mirror. I mean, I was having my picture taken. And I was happy to have my picture taken. I haven't felt that way since I was 34. I am 56. So anyway,
Good job, Wendy. Freaking,
I just want to say that the sense of choice, the sense of power is really strong. And I say to myself, yeah, that looks good, but I want this feeling more. I want this peace more. I want this healthy food more. Okay. And so it's an allow power. I allow myself to say, yeah, of course that draws you in. Yeah, you have 55 years of patterning. That was, that chocolate chip cookie gave you that dopamine hit. So I let it pass. I look, I feel it, I hear it. And then I hear, but I want this more. And then I feel that. So that would be what I would want to bring to folks is that you think it can't be you. I didn't think this could be me. I mean, Laura, Laura says just be patient. And she's right, and anyway. So but
you almost had me convinced. You almost had me convinced on our one-on-one. You're like, no, really, I really am a special unicorn. And I was like, no, you're not. Just come on in. I mean, we're all special, right? We're all unicorn-esque in our own way, but not when it comes to weight loss. That is so, she was really trying to convince me that it wasn't going to work for her. Didn't get by. Okay. Oh, we have an anonymous attendee. saying so grateful that everybody's here. How did you guys, if this was a conversation that you had with your partner, your husband, your whoever, how did you navigate that? How did you talk to your husband? How did you convince your husband maybe? Does anybody have a story? Does anybody have a helpful like tip or trick? You can just raise your hand and I'll call on you. And I always say you have to be convicted going in. Don't go in like willy-nilly. Don't go in hesitating because they'll meet you with that hesitation. But if you go in convicted and like, we're going to figure this out, most of our partners really, when push comes to shove, will be supportive and want to be supportive, which for some of us, like that sounds unbelievable because some of us, a lot of us have tried all the things. We've already spent so much money on it, right? And I always say, remember, there is the guarantee, like you can share that. So who wants to say something about that? Anybody? Everyone's like, no.
I think I'm an outlier because I never discussed it with my husband.
Same.
The way we good. Okay, so I'm not alone. I always feel funny when we get to this topic because I just never discussed it with him. I didn't discuss the
No,
money.
I don't actually think you're an outlier. I mean, that is one option. A
Yeah.
lot of us are going to want to discuss these bigger charges. Now, I will say there's a 12-month payment plan that's $497 a month. And that $497 might be how much you're already spending and not actually
Right.
solving the problem. I know for me it was between a green juice cleanse or like an owl reset cleanse or something like of that, then my like 4 gym memberships in like Pilates studio, then on the extra food maybe or the alcohol or whatever. Like seriously, do the math. Anybody else have to talk to their partner about it? Yeah.
I do. I feel what this asker is saying. Less is more. I was determined. I said, I know I've tried a lot of things, but this is it. I need radical positivity. I need a community. I need this support and I'm going to get it. And I'm going to do this. And so it wasn't so, my way or the highway, but I said, I need this support. I need a community. I cannot do this without a community. I don't want to do this without a community. And so I didn't use that many words. And I, like you said, where I was convicted. I was not back on my heels. I was forward.
And it's a little bit of a misnomer or a misstatement for me to say I didn't talk to my husband about it at all. I didn't talk to him about it before signing up because I knew that I had some money that was just mine that I could do with what I wanted. And I was willing to do that. But when I did talk to him, what I said was, if I could pay the weight loss fairy this amount of money and wake up tomorrow in the body of my dreams, I would do it. I would not hesitate. I would be throwing the money at the weight loss fairy. And if I'm willing to pay for the result, I just have to understand that it's not a free lunch, right? Like I'm going to have to do the work, but I'm willing to pay for the result. And I also looked at it as when I started the program, I was 49. I turned 50 right as I was finishing up my 6 months. And I have very young children. I'm an older mom. My children are almost 8. So I looked at it as I want to be healthy for the long term, especially, being a slightly older mom. And so I looked at that cost over what I hope is another 40 years of my life. And I thought about that cost that way. And when I talked to my husband about it, and he actually didn't even ask me how much it was. I eventually told him, but I think what I said to him was, I have to do this because I cannot keep living the way that I'm living. And he knew, he wanted to support me. He's been supportive. He didn't know how to help me because he doesn't have the same struggles. He's a runner. He can eat whatever he wants, but he knew that I wasn't living my beautiful life to the fullest. And so, like Wendy said, I think when I talked about it, it was already decided in my mind. And I think, you know, if your husband or your spouse or your partner, whomever, is supportive and, you know, financially you can swing it, I think you'll be surprised when you lead with the power of conviction. It can really help.
Yeah. I love how you're like, I needed this, right? It's like if our kids, right? Like my daughter, when she was really little, she needed surgery. Like she did, right? So that she could thrive. We were willing to figure it out. Like we figured it out, right? And I know that's like a bit of a dramatic analogy, but like, is it? Because like, and this is where I love to get dramatic. But again, is it dramatic or is it real? Right? It's like our lives actually are on the line. Like, or at least the lives we want to be living, to Jennifer's point earlier, right? It's like our lives, the way that we dream of them. And some of us have stopped dreaming because it's gotten too painful, because the belief isn't there anymore. And that's why I'm always like, borrow my belief and borrow all of these women's belief in you, because we know it's possible now. And that's why I really like treat this kind of like a movement. Like I really am desperate to free all of the moms, because there really is so much liberation on the other side of this. So it's a need. It is a need for many of us. Does anybody else want to chime in? Real quick, there's a question in here. So the payments, $497 times 12 equals $59.64. Yes. So you are incentivized to pay in full, but if you want to do the payment plan, it's like we're taking on the risk, basically. It's like we're your credit card company, basically. That's number one. Number two, you do still get the $500 off. The $500 off should work for either payment plan or the pay in full. Is that what you wanted to say, Rose?
Yes. And also about husbands.
Oh, say about husbands. Talk about husbands.
Some of us have really amazing supportive husbands. Some of us will make the decision without talking to them about it, and that's fine. A lot of us might have the conversation and our husbands watched us try a million things and not maybe show up for ourselves in those things. And he's going to be like, you don't believe in you, so I don't believe in you. And that I would recommend that you get really clean and clear on your decisions and you really like own how you're going to show up, and then go talk to your husband about it. If you're in a marriage where you're like, we discuss these types of things, or maybe it's like he's the predominant bread earner or something like that. And we always make decisions together about large purchases for you. That's something you definitely want to come to the table with, like, this is exactly what I'm doing. I understand why you might not believe in me, because in the past I didn't believe in me, but right now I really do. And that has changed because I've made some very large purchases of myself. And my husband's like, he sees that I'm all in and he's like, okay. And I'm like, sit back and take notes, baby. That's how we do it. So I just wanted to like.
No, that's really super helpful, because yeah, I mean, that was me. I tried a million things, right? And it's like, well, why is this going to be different? It's like, well, it's going to be different because it's different because of the methodology behind it. But I always say, like, I actually want you guys to have skin in the game. And one way to have skin in the game is to, gag and go a bit with the cost. There is a guarantee. So it is risk-free. You do have to do the work, but again, it will be the easiest thing you've ever done to lose weight, and it's permanent. Now, does that mean there won't be challenges inside? No, there will be, but you've got Rose and I to catch you, and you have this amazing community. If you're freaked out by the community, don't be. It really will, like to Wendy's point and everyone else nodding, it really will be one of your favorite parts of the experience. Megan.
I was just going to say, I totally was freaked out about the cost at first.
Oh, I remember. You were like, I was having full body like sweats. My heart was beating out of my chest.
Yeah, I was like, have you ever had that feeling where you're like sweating and freezing at the same time? Like I was feeling like it was very bizarre, but my husband was super supportive. I mean, he was totally supportive. He was just like, I mean, if you think you want to do it, if you think we can manage the money part, like do it. And it's weird because I think I went to him almost like being like, talk me out of this, but ultimately the money piece, I think actually, like, I never thought this in the moment. It's only like reflecting on it after, but the price point helped me stay in it when it got difficult at times, because you know, if I do like a $16 a month Weight Watcher membership and give up on that, well, who cares? I mean, like I lost $16, whatever. But it was almost like the money was like, because I had this mentality, and we kind of referenced it earlier. Like one of my thoughts going into it was like, but if I do this for me, then I'm taking away like my kid's vacation. You know, I've got to make a choice money wise. Like, well, how am I spending this money? And like, am I taking away like an amazing vacation for my family? But ultimately, that was like the thing that I was like, I have to make this work. I cannot give up on this. Like, I have to show up. I have to do this, because if I chose to spend this money this way, I owe it to like everybody, like to me, number one, but then like my whole family too. And then, you know, like I said earlier, and then we still figured out how to have the amazing vacation too. So you get creative, but I almost feel like having that price tag. I mean, I gave up on the juice cleanse. I gave up on the 30 hard. I gave up on the Weight Watchers. I gave up on all those stuff because there was no like downside to giving up on it. You know, it was like, all right, I'm out $50. I'm out $60. Oh, well.
Yeah. People will say to me, they're like, I came in and I was determined to get my money back. So I did what you told me to do. So I was going to get my money back. And then they're like, and then shit, I'm losing all this weight. And then they're like, never mind. Actually, yeah, this is great. I'm losing all this weight. I don't actually want my money back.
Totally. I mean, I like pride myself. I'm the deal finder. Okay. Like I like, I'm not quite a couponer, but I'm like a deal finder. And so I was like, if I'm going to spend this money, like I am going to get this out of it 100%.
So if someone is on the fence, like they've done this challenge or they've gotten a little taste of the Yummy Mummy method and they want to do it, but they're on the fence. They're like, I don't know, maybe I really am a special unicorn, or like it is expensive. I don't know. What is your one piece of advice for that person to help them take the leap of faith so that they get to create this life that we're all experiencing? That's my question. What would you tell somebody if they're on the fence? And is there anything else you feel like you have to say? Like you just have to say, well, you can't sign off without the humans, the potential yum mums knowing. So that's kind of how I want to end. Who wants to go first?
I think that there is something that until you do this, at least I didn't understand what weight loss really looked like. I mean, being in a group together and people willing to be vulnerable about what they weigh, the pace they're losing at. I mean, the first 6 weeks, I mean, for me, they were hard. They were an adjustment of balancing my hunger hormones, kind of getting through days where I was super hungry. I'm no longer, everything's balanced now. So I'll jump to the end and I'm not hungry anymore. But I needed the community. I needed the understanding. I needed to know that you might not lose anything for 10 days and that's completely normal. And then, so it is exactly the beginning quote. You're looking for something fast, but in the micro, in the short term, it's slow. And in the long term, it is fast. And you can't get over that hump, or I couldn't get over that hump without the help, without the first 8 to 12 weeks. And then you lose 20 and then you're like in this 14-day hold. But then I lost 13 more. And but you have to see, I needed the support to get over the initial shift in what we're supposed to eat actually look like. And you're making it up for yourself, but the quantity, you can kind of tell, anyway, there's something about the duration, the time, the support, the seeing how it works in other people's bodies. The group is so willing to share and to be vulnerable so that you have somebody to catch you on those really hard days. Really, I can't. And Jennifer said, you can. And I've been there. I get this. So anyway, thank you for letting me be part of this. It's an honor to be here with all of you guys.
Love you, Wendy. Thank you so much. Okay, anybody else want to share? What would you tell somebody? Because Andrea.
This is going to sound kind of dramatic, but there are like a few decisions in life that drastically change the course of everything thereafter. Who you decide to marry, I don't know, your career. I didn't know when I was signing up for Yummy Mummy that would be one of them, but it really changed my life in every way for the better. And yeah, it's scary. But like I do scary things all the time because that's the only way to get what you actually want. So like it's okay to be scared. Just it's gonna not feel amazing, but like pretty soon you're gonna be so happy that you just jumped in and did it.
Yes, yes. I feel like we're not taught that like permanent weight loss is scary. We're taught that like getting a PhD or going down a double black diamond, we're taught that that's like kind of scary and hard, but we're not taught that weight loss, it's the same as like any other skill. Anything you've done in your life that's big, there's probably some big emotions around disbelief, fear, or doubt. Yeah. And yeah, it's like yell the fear and do it anyway. That's so good, Andrea. Oh, okay. Who else wants to go? What would you tell somebody on the fence?
I'll go.
Yeah. Okay, Jennifer, then Mel.
One second. There's a concept of opportunity cost, right? So there's a cost to doing the program, but then there's also this idea of opportunity cost of what is the cost of not doing it? And it's not necessarily a financial cost, although it can be, right? If you don't address a weight issue, we all know excess weight, causes health problems down the road. But there's also the emotional opportunity cost. Like when I talk about that, I was sitting on the sidelines of my life. I mean, the thing that got me to sign up was one of my twins asked me if I was going to swim with them during our spring break vacation. And I was like, oh, maybe. And then I went in the other room and I bawled my eyes out because I knew the answer to that question was no. And I knew that they're now of the age where now they notice that mommy doesn't do certain things with them. And they don't know why yet, but they knew, they could see. And so for me, thinking about it, the opportunity cost was not engaging and making memories with my children that are moments I was not going to get back. And so everyone's opportunity cost might look different, but there is a cost to not doing it as well. So I think that when I was and I honestly was never really on the fence because I was so rock bottom when I reached out to my friend and was like, what did you do? And she said, Laura Conley, yummy mummy. I was almost willing to do anything. But the one thing I also do want to say, because when I spoke to this friend, the first thing I said to her was, if you tell me I can never have ice cream again, I'm not doing it. And so I just want to say, the plan you come up with and the protocol that you develop for yourself, it really does look different for everybody. I had great success I only do intermittent fasting on a 12-12 schedule. I did have joy eats once or twice a week, and I still managed to lose 45 pounds. So everybody is different. So if anything is feeling scary to you about like, oh, I don't want to never have a cookie again, and some people, they're like, hey, I don't ever need a cookie again. Like I've worked that out. And some people, it's just different. Everyone's experience is different in the community, but everyone seems to find what does work for them. And that's what this container and this community and Laura's guidance brings you to. And so I would just say, do it. You have so much to gain from doing it and a lot of excess weight to lose. So I really hope all of you continue on your journey.
That was so well said. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna like can that. I love that, Jennifer. That's so helpful. The opportunity cost, the life cost. We're talking about weight loss here, but we don't talk that much about like at least just the way that I position myself and what I talk about. It's really focused on weight loss, but like your health is also on the line, to Jennifer's point, right? Like your longevity. Like when you use the Yummy Mummy method, what you're going to be doing is balancing your hunger hormones like we talked about earlier this week. And the risk of so many lifestyle diseases, cancers significantly go down. Like I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about the health benefits to weighing what you want and to balancing your hunger hormones. We could spend hours just doing that. So I just want to like highlight that to everybody that, yeah, you get to feel amazing in your clothes and go swimming with your kids and be confident and all that and live a long, vibrant life. We had one client that sent me an email, Bree, and she actually was like, can I be on the panel? And I was like, I think we have enough people. But her husband did the calculation and they're saving like $30K over the course of their life because of their life insurance policy, because now she's in like a different category. So it's like these little things you end up actually, again, opportunity cost, actual cost. But like you spoke about the emotional cost, the mental cost, the energetic cost that is on the line. So I think that's like really, really great. Megan, anything that you want to say?
Yeah, I mean the health piece. I wear like one of the fitness watches, and when I first started, it had me in like I think I was like borderline average to poor, like VO2, whatever the way your body, like your health, the way you process oxygen in your heartbeat and all that. And they had this little thing where you could swipe to see like potential improvement with more exercise, I think they called it. And it had me up to like average. Well, now I'm in like the good, almost to excellent kind of range. And so it's just so crazy to me that, and I mean, I totally feel it. Like I walk and I run pretty regularly. And I mean, I'm literally running a mile, like a minute and a half faster pace than I used to, which is a lot if you're a runner. It's a big jump. And so, I mean, the health benefits totally just in like running into people. Andrea kind of mentioned that earlier. Like I used to have like this, oh my gosh, I don't want to run into anybody that I haven't seen in years or whatever. I don't want them to kind of see me, but it's not even a thought anymore. Like just the ease of like, the chatter is just not there. Like that is so huge to not have that constant like talk track, going on in your brain. I mean, it's just there's so many benefits. It's we can go on and on and on.
Yeah, totally. Tell me, okay, if you could say one thing for that person on the fence, what would you tell them?
I think that one thing would probably be like, if I hadn't done it, like if I hadn't joined, I would be at least 60 pounds heavier now, maybe more, because my weight was just creeping up, constantly. So maybe I'd be 65 pounds heavier. I don't know. There's so many. I was like scrolling through some pictures. I'm doing that thing where you go back on a day and like delete, like, when you're have a newborn and you take like 10,000 pictures of the same face that they make, like I'm going back in to like every day, like I'll go into June 14th for the past few years and like delete old pictures. So I've been doing that. And the number of like full body pictures of me is like non-existent in like past years. I mean, I actually take full body pictures now. Who knew? Like that's a thing people do, like, and so I guess I would just say I guess it goes back to that opportunity cost thing. Like, what are you not doing now that you've heard the rest of us say we used to also not do? And now we do. And what are you willing to get those things? What are you willing to do?
I love that. I love that. I didn't want to be like negative Nancy, but I kind of did in terms of like the way that we started this call where we visualized December 31st. Like you might want to be strategically pessimistic. Like what does December 31st, 2024 look like if you don't do this, if you don't do something different, if you don't make this a summer that it gets done? Like be real, be honest with yourself. That's what she's saying, right? It's like, this is a pivotal moment in your life, and you really will look back and be like, yes, I did it. So good. Mel, I totally skipped you.
It's okay. I was just going to say what I didn't appreciate beforehand until I started in between the one-on-one and the program was just exactly how much the no processed sugar, no, white wheat flour, that was sort of my protocol, what that would change. And it is dramatic. And it is not what I did when I lost weight before, which is why I couldn't sustain it. Because for me, that's what I need to sustain it. And then for me, the intermittent fasting came sort of gradually because I wasn't hungry in the morning, because I wasn't having like the hormonal hunger from a spike of whatever I had eaten the night before and I'm waking up like famished. I wasn't having that. And so I just I was scared of the intermittent fasting, but it gradually became possible because the balancing of my hunger hormones made it so. And so that was a really big aha for me.
Yeah, like if
And
you've ever tried intermittent fasting before and hated it, it's because your hunger hormones were not balanced for sure.
Right.
It's brutal. if
Right.
Your hunger hormones aren't balanced. It's really
Yeah.
nightmare. Yeah.
So that's an enormous, powerful, component of all this. And if it's not the right thing for you, that's okay, because there will be some other combination of things that is right for
Yeah.
you. But for
Yeah,
many
we just got a
people,
question on, do you recommend intermittent fasting? And it's like the way, and I'm so glad you're bringing this up, you, Mel, Jennifer, and Katie in the Q&A, because I will be holding your hand, Rose, as well. We're going to hold your hand and we are going to give you recommendations, but we're together going to figure out what your unique custom plan is for you, so that it works for your bioindividuality and so that it works for your lifestyle. And that's one of the many reasons why this methodology works, is because it's not a one size fits all. So some of my clients do intermittent fasting and some of my clients don't do intermittent fasting. So we just explore that together. So the recommendation is it's a process of figuring out exactly what you're going to eat and why. And we do a deep dive inside the Yummy Mummy right at the beginning of the experience. So Katie, let me know if that answers your question. But yeah, Mel, I think that's really helpful. Okay. Anybody else want to say anything before we end? Any other questions from the audience? Anything, Rose, that you want to say?
Beth said she wishes she could join. She said it's not in her budget. She has 3 kids in college and a wedding in the near future, and she's going to reread her notes from the days. These last couple of challenge is from her main challenge. What would anybody say to her? She wishes she could.
It's not in the budget. It's not in the budget, Rose. Just kidding.
I'll chime in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Laura has a free podcast, and that you can listen to, and where, a lot of what we talk about in the Yummy Mummy, you do touch on in your podcast. And so, I mean, to me, if it's truly absolutely not financially possible, I think you take what Laura offers in her podcast, and I think you continue on your journey, and I think you figure out, as life changes, maybe the opportunity will become more viable financially in the future. But I think whatever you do, as long as you decide today that you are going to do something, I think your future self will look back at this day and will weep with gratitude, because I know I do. I look back to the person I was at the end of March 2023, and I'm so grateful to her. So it's absolutely not in the budget. That's okay. Do what you can. Do what you can. The one option I would say is not on the table is to do nothing, because you're here for a reason. You signed up for this, summer of me. Actually, I am in the market, so we can talk. But I think, the one option is not to do nothing, right? So think about the things all of us have shared. Think about what you've learned this week. Embrace that. And again, see what you can call from Laura's podcast until it financially does become more viable. But I will say, if you do find the way, you will not regret it. Your future self will cry with gratitude for the day you made that decision.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Exactly.
Yes.
So good. Yeah. I mean, and then the other thing is too, is like, I always like to look at my budget and my calendar versus my priorities in my life. Right. So it's like, right now, what do I really want? Like right now, I really, really want to focus on freeing the moms. So like the way that my budget looks matches that. Or like my kids this summer, I really want to hang out with my kids. So the way I'm spending my money and spending my time matches that priority. So again, just know, that's a fun question, fun in quotes, question you can ask yourself. Because we will oftentimes say that, it's not in the budget. And that might actually be true to Jennifer's point, and it might actually just be a thought that we want to poke holes at and be like, is it not in the budget? Is there anything creative I could do if I do really want this, right? And to Jennifer's point, there's free podcasts. You have all this free content from this week. Again, my mission here is to free the mom. So there's free content and there's paid content, right? Like, I know for me, I get results when I pay for shit. I just do. It's like goes into the skin in the game thing. So I just want to kind of call that out too, because I have had clients, and this has been me too, that have said, like, it's not in the budget. And then I don't get the result that I want. And then instead I think, well, what if I could figure out a way to make it in the budget? Again, it might actually not be in the budget. It also might be a thought where there's room for poking holes around creativity and resourcefulness. So it's a little bit of harsh coaching, but I'm willing to say it.
Babes, what did you think of that episode? What really resonated with you? I would love to hear. Shoot me an email, laura@lauraconley.com. I love talking to you guys. I love having a two-way conversation. And of course, go to lauraconley.com to book your call if you're maybe this is the cohort that is right for me. lauraconley.com. Book your call, babe, and let's get you started. Let's get you losing weight for the last dang time. I'll see you inside.